Okay, good morning. We're here at City Hall, and I've got a group of folks here representing ShopLocalKC business districts. We're going to start with a discussion with Jenny Miller from KCSourcelink, but why don't we introduce ourselves, starting with you, Jenny?
Okay. My name is Jenny Miller. I'm the network builder for KCSourcelink.
Amber Arnett Beckwith, Full Moon Productions.
Bobby Baker Hughes with the Northeast Kansas City Chamber of Commerce, and we manage the Independence Avenue CID.
John Pedro with the Business Customer Service Center.
Lee Blumenthal. I'm the Community Engagement and Development Manager for Main Core. We operate the Main Street CID and the Broadway Area CID.
Right.
Sarah Moat, Marketing Director, also with KCSourcelink.
Adam Nelson with Flying Pig Local Mercantile.
Representing Crossroads Community Association?
Crossroads.
All right.
Lisa Minardi, Assistant to Councilwoman Teresa Lohr.
Monty Summers, Group Real Estate, President of West Bottoms Business Association.
All right, so this morning, there's several faces in the room that might not be familiar with KCSourcelink. So I'll kind of give you an overview of KCSourcelink and why Shop Local is important to us, and then how we help support local businesses. So a little bit of background about KCSourcelink. We are a program of UMKC, independently funded through grants, so all based all the way through growth and potential sale or exit of that business, and also any type of business. So all your Main Street businesses, maybe micro enterprises that could be operating within your areas, tech businesses, growth stage businesses. We have resources to help support any of those. So to kind of give you an idea on the number of businesses within the Kansas City area, approximately 71% of our businesses are micro enterprise. So those small businesses, 1 to 3 people that may have an online presence, could have a physical location, but really kind of there to support the owner's income. And then Main Street businesses, so those that are set up on our streets, they're creating the vibrancy within our areas, revitalizing some areas, and creating just those places for the residents to go and frequent. That makes up about 25% of the businesses within the Kansas City area. Then you have about 1% in the second stage, so those growth businesses, and 9% in the innovation-led. So KCSourcelink works with over 250 resources across Kansas City, and we create personalized action plans for businesses. So based on where they're at, we'll talk with that business and kind of decide what direction they're going and lay out a step-by-step plan that will help them, connecting them with all the resources that are there. One of the things that we hear from Main Street businesses is, I need more customers, I need more people coming into my doors. So one of the ways that we help support that is through the Shop Local page, which Rick has pulled up for us. So it's just KCSourcelink.com, and then you have the Shop Local tab across the top. So it's easy to access this page for any businesses. When you're looking at this, you can see we've created a map that has where these businesses are located, which are divided into icons. So those are based on retail, restaurant, service businesses, and then also entertainment. So a business owner can simply come onto this website. Over here where it says list a business, it's that easy to come on, say list a business. Am I doing this right? Okay. For the KCSourcelink Shop Local page, we do have some criteria for these businesses. We'd like the business owner or a representative of that business to add themselves to the page instead of other people just adding businesses on here. We do that for 2 reasons. The first is to make sure that the business owner knows that they're on this page, and also then to help ensure that the information that's posted about the business is accurate. The second criteria is it has to be independently owned. So these are truly those businesses that are starting and running within KC. So that does exclude franchises from being listed onto this page. The third is that they need to be operated outside of the home. So as of right now, this page is for Main Street businesses, so those that have a physical location that are set up and running. In a little bit, I'll talk about kind of what we do for online businesses, if that's relevant for anyone in the room. And then also, we talked about this too, the physical location, and they have to be open for people to come into their office. So the business owner clicks. These are all relevant for me.
You can use the back, that might work better. Okay.
And it's a simple fill in the form. So they come, they fill in their information. We do ask for some of their socials here so that we can help promote them additionally. But it's simple, who you are, what is your business. Fill in the form and you submit it. Once that's submitted, it comes to us, we verify the information, and you're up on the page.
This is all generated from those businesses, right? You don't enter any of that information, and so if they're not there, it's because they didn't go to you.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So with that, we do ask the business submit their own.
Right.
Business associations submitting all of their businesses, we've kind of run into some issues with that, so just to let the businesses do it themselves.
Okay.
But we do encourage you guys to tell
Yes.
your businesses
Right.
that this is out there and that
Right.
they can do it.
And could we put it on our website as a link to yours, and then
Yes.
say, hey, find local businesses in Midtown, go here.
Yes, please
Okay.
do.
All right.
Please do.
Okay.
Yeah, so with that, I'll kind of talk about some of the benefits for a business owner. So again, this is all free. There's no cost for the business owner to do this. And KCSourcelink runs extensive marketing campaigns around Shop Local twice a year. So we're in the holiday season, so we're kicking off Shop Local. We give benefits of why people should shop local, talking about the amount of money that stays within the community, supporting the character businesses. Small businesses are creating jobs, so let's support them, different things like that. And then also we point consumers back to this page in order to find businesses. So we're trying to push customers into the businesses that are located on the page. So you can link back directly to this site, both from your members' perspective, saying list yourself, but then also if you are a consumer and you want to shop local, all of these have been verified as local, independently owned businesses. So here's kind of a vetted list for you.
And then when's your second marketing time?
Great question. Around graduation. So in May, when people are searching for gifts for graduation, you're kicking off a high wedding season. So that's the second time we will do big pushes around.
And do you have a printout that kind of shows those dollars that are being spent?
We don't. Sarah, there was a study done.
Yeah, we have a blog post up that kind of talks about the benefits of shopping local, and then we'll also post some like Instagram factoids up that talk about that too. So that's one way that we promote that. But I can send that, and then yeah, John has a
Is this
great
the one, same
recent
ones
study.
here, the American
Mhm.
Independent Business Association?
Yeah, we
There's
pulled some
good
stuff from
numbers in
that.
there on the benefits of shop local campaigns. I can email that to anybody who's interested.
Yes,
If
please.
that's
Yeah.
something you got, then you link.
Yeah, yeah, and then Lead Bank just did a study too that we'll
Okay.
share as well.
Awesome.
I think it's Kansas City focused too. I think it's a
Okay.
Kansas City survey, which would be great.
What other questions do you have?
I saw you posted shopping online, locally owned retailers. You want to talk about that page?
Yep, so I mentioned the micro enterprise and those that might not have a physical location. We are also helping promote online businesses. So blog post up, add a KC e-commerce business. And this is the hashtag that we use, and we recommend other people utilize the same hashtag when you are promoting shopping local, hashtag ShopLocalKC. So if you have businesses that have an online presence only, they can also come on and add. Again, it's a simple add an e-commerce business, and it's a simple fill-in-the-blank form as well. So, and we will kind of separate those out so people understand these are businesses you can go into. But here are online businesses because, as we all know, more people are doing online shopping. So this will allow people to frequent and help support those businesses within Kansas City as well. Requirement for this is that you have to have an online ability to purchase from them.
Hi, I'm with the Crossroads Community Association. Sorry I'm late. What are some of the ways or tactics that you're using to promote the campaigns? If I missed that, I'm sorry. You've already talked about that.
We have the marketing director right here, and she
Okay.
can help.
So we have the map which we're sharing and hoping to get folks on there. We have some kind of big swaths of the map that aren't filled in, so we're hoping that we can fill those in. And then we do most of our promotion via social media. In years past, we've kind of done this kind of group with some other groups to help kind of coordinate a Shop Local effort. So I'm super excited to hear what ideas you guys have on how we can promote Shop Local and how we can contribute to your efforts. And then I believe, Jenny, let me know if I'm misspeaking here. I'm going to go ahead and start speaking it though, live on Facebook. I think there's a way that if you were part of like a Crossroads neighborhood association that you could just talk about shopping local in your particular zip code. Did you already say that?
I did not. But
Did you
that's
want me to say that out loud?
I
So,
can go into that too.
so that's another way where you can kind of really get hyper focused and hyper local on your particular region on this is how you can support the Crossroads or this is how you can support the Northland.
Oh, okay.
We can
Yeah.
break this down by zip code. So if your association or the area that you want to specifically promote is within a specific zip code, we can create a widget based on that zip code, and you give that widget to you to put on your site. So you
great.
can say, support Independence
Yeah.
Avenue,
Or multiple
and list
zip
those
codes.
out.
Yeah, yeah. And you can do multiple zip codes. You can
Yeah.
do like an and.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep. So we can create that for you so that you can link
Okay.
back to the full list onto our site, or we can actually embed that widget on your site that is support the West Bottoms, here are the businesses in the West Bottoms.
Perfect. Okay.
Well, this might, we put in 25 retail stores in the West Bottoms, you know, such as Good Juju, Bottoms Up, Velveteen, I could go on. But within there, they have a lot of vendors, and they might fit this 1 to 3 that you're talking about. They don't have a lot of employees, but it may be a way for them to actually promote within the store, and that becomes, you know, 1,000 or 1,500 small businesses versus just 25.
Yeah, that would be great, and we want to shine the light on those businesses as well,
I mean-
because they're doing.
Oh, it's incredible, you know, between, I mean, we're probably drawing 15,000 people a weekend to 20,000 people a weekend on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Half of them are from Kansas. If you drive the parking lots, 25% are from out of state as far as, you know, Texas, you know,
Wow.
further, and then 25% from Missouri. That's been Troy's favorite thing, to drive the parking lot and look at the license plate.
See where everyone's coming from.
Doesn't sound like fun, but it is. It's very good.
And so we have the email that was sent out to get everyone here this morning. We can respond to that email and send these links so that if you have the physical businesses, there's one link to add there, and we'll also include the link to the blog so that your non-physical location or your vendors within.
Yeah.
Well, they're there, but they're small, they're vendors, they're vendors within the retailer, you know what I'm saying, with, you know, which is not, you know, maybe promoted, you know, if you're promoting Good Juju, this might be a way to promote within each store. You know, like, we're just getting ready to come out this year with the campaign, it's the largest, so you could probably tell it better, but it's the
Well, we're
largest
now the
indoor.
largest vintage indoor market in the United States.
Oh, I didn't know that. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
And we're working with the sign people, the billboard people, to actually advertise
The nice
that.
folks
So,
at
I mean, you know,
the
I wanted to sign bigger. If the city wants to sign smaller, it's a little aggravating. But hopefully it'll be up for promoting just that.
And if you have tidbits like that or little things, please let us know that too, because, as I mentioned, we have a pretty extensive social media outreach, and we can help share that news too.
So then do you reach out to the businesses to say this campaign's coming?
Mm-hmm.
Put
Yeah, we
this
already
on
have
your
it
list?
in for the online. We already have that in our newsletter. So we send out our newsletter to about 15,000 folks.
Okay.
So we have that in our newsletter. We share it on our social media, obviously, and we'll share it probably on our events newsletters too. We send about 3 newsletters per month
Thanks.
to our businesses. Yeah.
So I've got a question, kind of similar to what you were talking about with the vendors within the stores in Good Juju. Our store, I mean, we at one point we had a space in Good Juju, and so within there, they are individual people that have their own business, and that's their avenue to sell. But like with our store now in the Crossroads, we have makers that have their own small business. It may not be a full-time business for them. It may be, you know, something. I mean, they don't have a physical location other than places like us to sell their goods. I mean, is there somewhere that they can fit into doing something like this?
And they don't have it online sales?
Well, a lot of them, most of who we deal with are primarily smaller people. We do have some larger ones, but them, or can they use that?
No, they can use their Etsy
Okay.
shop for sure. Yeah.
And that's quite a few of the businesses within that micro enterprise, that's how they sell. So that
Exactly.
would be where we would link back. As long as when consumers are on this website, or on our site, they can link directly to where they can buy the products.
Okay.
That's what we're
Yeah, if we can put that in one link, that would be great.
Awesome.
Yeah, that-
If I could follow up, you know, each store may have its own rules. You know, we'd work through the managers, the owners of each store, and they would, you know, bring it to them, you know, and they could say, hey, yeah, this is great, or it's not. You know, I don't tell them how to, you know, advertise and promote, you know what I'm saying? But I think
Yeah.
it would be a way for all of them individually, and it'd be bigger and greater.
I think the key is what you're saying, which is then for the customer who's researching that to be able to know where to go buy that product
Mhm.
online or physically, which would be key, because it can be very confusing when you have the vendors inside
Yeah.
promoting their name versus the storefront of where they have to enter to get that product, and that becomes a lot of vendors. Like, you go from 30 stores to 1,500, and how to find that person. And then I think it's our responsibility as the district or the owners to really talk about what they offer and what they have internally when we're promoting district as a whole, because it becomes confusing on where to go and how to get there.
He
So-
could maybe elaborate. I've never been a vendor. He's just now said he's been a vendor, so they may be some,
Well, like
Yeah.
like
you know, a
it-
little bit of.
so within Good Juju, you are paying for square footage on the floor, and you know, as part of that, you make a commitment to be there for a certain period of time during first weekend. So, and most of those people, I mean, that is their store. You know, we deal with people that all the way from they make soap in a bathroom, one bathroom of their house is dedicated to doing that, all the way to you know, people that have physical, actual production kitchens to make like Kansas City canning, things like that, that, you know, they have a full online presence, but a lot of, you know, the guy that we do the soap with doesn't have an online presence at all. She just sells through our store. So there's a lot
A
of,
little bit of both. Or-
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah,
layers
variations,
of different
yeah.
people and the way they go about doing things. And several of our people do have like an Etsy store or a website of their own, so that would work for them.
It sounds like you have your own vendors now. I mean, you have vendors yourself.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, exactly.
Would you allow them to do this? I mean, if we brought, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly, yeah. I think it would be, you know, for us, anything that drives them to us or to that vendor, even if it's not at our place. I mean, it's great to be able to get, for those small local brands, just the awareness that other people, you know, more of just a brand awareness for those people, and then people like myself or other people that sell a lot of the products that we sell. You know, people have come to expect to find certain things in stores like ours, where you know, if you go to the Made in KC store in Briarcliff or out in Kansas, or I think they're opening a couple just down here, there are certain things people expect to see in those stores just because they're kind of like staple brands. And so we've now started carrying some of those things just because people have come to expect that in our store. But we also pride ourselves in finding local makers that aren't in every other store.
I guess I want to ask a question too for Jenny and Sarah. We're also talking about independent business owners, so physical products for sure, but services as well. Restaurants, coffee shops, hair salons, right? So you promote that on your page as well.
Yes, yes. I talked about the 4 icons for our 4 areas. So retail, so those that are selling the physical products, whatnot. Restaurants, and then food-based. So if they don't have a necessarily restaurant, you talked about Kansas City Canning Company. Food-based, services, and then entertainment.
Because the report that I read there said these campaigns work best when you really focus on all the independent businesses, the 4 that you mentioned. I mean, it's great that we got lots of physical projects, that's great, but just want to make sure everybody is clear on that.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is that the way we lay it out within each district with the store, because they do need promoted, but I think it has to, like you're saying, meet your criteria, and then how it's laid out to make it easy to understand is what I'm saying.
And I think perhaps some of these makers and creatives in these stores may not be fully licensed with the city, and that would maybe create an issue at some point in time. Just throwing that at you.
Okay. This is usually easily remedied.
Yes, yeah, just so that it's, you know, nobody's taken by surprise when they list up there. And, you know, I was taken by surprise by the health department because they're watching social media and they're catching us on having great little events without separate, independent, temporary food permits that, you know, you may not know that you have to have, and some of these small makers and creators may not know they have to have some certain legalities.
Right. So
Or if you have a community improvement district that's sales tax based.
Exactly.
So I probably should state, since we're on Facebook Live, that people have questions about those local regulations, you can call our office at 816-513-2492 and we'll walk you through that process.
And yes, the health department has been cracking down because I'm getting lots of calls.
Yes, they have been. Watch that. They watch social media, so it's important.
What other questions or comments do you have?
As a consumer, there's a couple of things. Your West Bottoms area, totally shop there every month.
Thank you.
I was so excited when they came out with a map that shows what's open one weekend a month versus every weekend, because that to me is huge. The other thing is, I know you have your kind of 5 components, but I almost feel like you need the makers, because yeah, there are certain products that I go look for. I've been at like one of the pop-ups and saw a product that I think is really great. That would give you the opportunity to track down where you can purchase other products made by that group. Sometimes it's not just buying stuff online. Some things you like to kind of feel or hold or that kind of thing. It's just a suggestion.
I'd already written that down.
Well, we got to come out with another map that, you know, we have 5 or 6 stores now that are open 5 and 6 days a week. You know, 7 or 8 years ago when I started this, you know, everybody said, hey, you can't do it, you can't do retail, you know, and it was, you know, 3 days a month, you know, and now it's, you know, a lot of the stores, there's probably 14 of them that are open every weekend, and now there's probably 5 that's open 5 and 6 days a week, and that's is the move and the trend. And there's a little bit of, you know, as Amber tries to promote there, he does a beautiful job and has, you know, the people want to keep it once a month, and the people want to do it every weekend. And then you got the people, you know, you're always trying to make it work for everybody, you know, and we want to see it, you know, go to 7 days a week, you know, day and night. But I mean, you're different, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean, that's,
yeah.
but we got to make it work for everyone, you know.
Kind of along those lines, I would recommend that you ask your businesses to make sure their Google Plus profiles are updated. That lists the hours of operation, which is really nice for consumers when they're on the website. We link out to their Google Plus account.
All right.
Super sad.
Thank you for using my phone as a Facebook Live camera. Well, I'm glad you mentioned the maker community. I did invite Nick Ward-Bopp and some folks from Maker Village, or what now they're branding as Tower East, the 31st Street corridor, and they had Wanderfest a few weeks ago. So a lot of you have had holiday events. So I also wanted to bring you together to talk about that. And I've been talking to Channel 2, you know, Chris Hernandez, our City Communications Office, about creating a ShopLocalKC video. So if you wouldn't mind, at some point, sit down in front of the camera and give us a little pitch of what's happening in your neighborhood this season. If that's, I haven't had your coffee yet.
I've had 3 cups.
3 cups, all right. But and we want to. I called this in conversations with Jenny and Kate a ShopLocalKC Roundtable, because we have a citywide initiative now in our strategic plan to promote Shop Local initiatives. We've had this effort going quite a while. We've had KCSourcelink's had the page up for quite a while. And then back in 2011, when we had this first small business committee, we did a bunch of Shop Local events where we brought city council members around to different neighborhoods. So I think, you know, the city council members would be interested in doing that again if we can create a more connected or more formal program of doing that, knowing when your events are going to be, and contacting a lot of you. I think, you know, you have council members attend a lot of your events, Bobby, on Independence Avenue.
And this weekend, we're doing a pop-up on Independence Avenue. Small they may be, and that's the point. This weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and next weekend, artists, creatives, right next door to the Northeast Chamber offices, 2657 Independence Avenue, plenty of parking. And it's great to go in and see so much vibrancy there, and that's that storefront that has sat vacant for so long that now is coming to life with art and people and things happening. It's cool.
So I'm curious, is there, so I love this time of year because of all the pop-ups and Strawberry Swing and Wanderlust and all that kind of stuff. Is there a place where all of those things are collected so I can plan all my weekends out? I'm curious if that already exists, or if I just have to kind of hodgepodge that together.
I think we're looking at that website now.
Yeah. Well, no, but with the like.
No,
the,
you're right. It doesn't exist.
And I don't know if that's
exist,
something you guys see as
home.
competition. Like, I don't want people to know about that thing because my thing's going on. I don't know how you guys view that, but as a consumer, I just want to book out every weekend with maker fairs because I think it's just, and I feel like I miss.
You just need my wife's Instagram feed.
Okay, just that wife's Instagram feed. You want to give that a plug?
Yeah. Well, that was a question I was going to ask. Is for us, most of our marketing within the store, or for the store that we do, we spend a lot of time reaching out to other people in the Crossroads. We've done, it's an Instagram-based contest called a Cyber Loop. So you get 10 businesses involved, and on Monday at 10 o'clock, everybody posts this picture, and embedded in that picture is the link to the next business. So you click on that picture, and the link pops up. You click on that again, and it takes you to their page. You like that one, you click on it again, and go to the next one, and you like that one. It's kind of, it's a, you know, everybody throws in a $20, $25 thing to the giveaway, and it helps just generate the social media followers that will at some point they'll see something in your post that's like, I really do, I need to go there and I need to do that thing. And so we've done the Instagram contest, and then it was very similar to what they did at Wonderfest. At Wonderfest, they had a, I guess, passport, you would call it, that had a map, showed where everything was, listed, who all was participating, and then you had to get a stamp from each place that you went. And if you got 10 stamps, you got 1 entry into their raffle. If you got 20 stamps, you got 2 entries or 3 entries into the raffle, I think. So we did something like that for Small Business Saturday with just people in the Crossroads. And, I mean, it was one of our better days we've had in a long time. So I guess as part of the KCSourcelink stuff, do you guys have a function that gives ideas or can help people track or follow or do something along those lines to make it easier for the people that are part of KCSourcelink to create those, maybe not necessarily a strawberry swing where it's at one location. I mean,
Right.
I love going to those, but I mean, it would be kind of like...
I like the Crossroads passport thing too. That was fun. I've done that, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what you mean by a function, but
I
I'd
mean,
like
like-
to talk about how we could do that.
Well,
yeah.
like, for example, doing the Cyberloop thing, it's really easy to set up. You just tell everybody what you're doing. Everybody, you send them the graphic. Everybody posts the graphic, and it's very simple. The difficult part of it is tracking it.
Mm-hmm.
Up until this point, we've paid somebody to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Facebook Live.
I don't know if you guys have resources for I mean, okay.
Not for the tracking part, but did
I
you
mean,
have...
just
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
wondering if there was
Well,
already a
yeah.
tool.
Well, or if there's just an idea that's maybe not one of the 2 ideas I've mentioned, but something similar that would be, perform the same function in terms of driving traffic or driving social media traffic to the different people within the area.
Yeah, I mean, the only way that I know that we can track is through kind of if we all agreed on a hashtag that we could use, and then we could track the impressions on that hashtag. And that would give us some sense of what people are doing and what people are clicking on. But outside of that, I can only track the accounts that I'm an admin on. And then Instagram, as you know, is a little trickier with tracking anything. But yeah.
So if
yeah,
we were to...
I'd be curious if other people had ideas on how to do that.
Like if we were to send you the information
But yeah.
on an event like that going on, is that something that KCSourcelink can promote?
No, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you bring up your calendar?
So we have the most comprehensive business calendar, which I think Jenny's going to pop up to you now. We also have a pretty well-read blog and an Entrepreneurs in Action section. So those are all places where we can help promote events or stories or tips for other associations or neighborhoods that want to try to bring their people together. So our audience is mostly people who are interested in starting or growing a small business, so keep that in mind. We're not super consumer focused.
Right.
So we're more entrepreneur focused, so that's kind of how we tend to contextualize
Have
our
you ever
information.
Have you ever heard of localstart.org?
Mm-hmm.
Because you guys were talking about a maker thing, and that's kind of what they are, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So,
a little bit more consumer focused than we can be, yeah.
well, I mean,
And they also do the, yeah.
yeah, I mean, they're
Yeah.
just more. They're more focused on
They
the
do
makers,
both
I think.
audience, yeah.
So,
I think, Sarah, you made a good point a little earlier, that part of what the conversation is about is not whether or not one particular district is in competition with another. It's the overall conversation of getting the awareness out that you pause before you make your purchase on your favorite online shopping site and consider whether or not there's somebody who's got the thing that or the service you're looking for right here in
Yeah.
town.
Well, and to make that part of your holiday tradition,
And the
is
nice
just
thing
go
is
and
if you
interact
go
with
to
makers
the
and pop-up shop. I just think that's the
Flag
funnest
or,
part, but yeah.
The West Bottoms, you're gonna meet the person. who runs
Exactly.
the business often, and that, from an experience standpoint, my own experiences, it's often delightful. You're talking to somebody who's made the product, you're talking to someone who's started the business, and I think that's part of the conversation is whether you go to south, north, Crossroads or West Bottoms, you're gonna have an interesting experience.
Mm-hmm. All of those Santa's
Kind
elves.
of along those lines, a couple things. So as Sarah mentioned, we have Kansas City's most comprehensive business calendar. So the organizations or the businesses that you're working with, if they want to know, how can I improve my marketing? What do I need to do? We actually have classes and events that can help them with that. And there's also resources that can sit down with them and help them design a plan. So they can call KCSourcelink and we can help them connect with all of those resources, which are free. So that's one avenue that we can kind of help along those lines. Also utilizing that hashtag ShopLocalKC just to spread the awareness of what's going on. And as we mentioned, if you have events that are going on, if we know for the month of December, here's what's happening, we can put a blog up on our website that has, here's everything that's going on. If you do want to go out and meet these people so that we can help with the pop-up shop, so that we can help with the events that are kind of moving around the city. So share that information with us and we'll help promote that as well.
But I'd also add on, we're super not into reinventing the wheel. We're into promoting what's already there. So if that already exists, then let us know and we would love to share it forward. But if it doesn't exist, then maybe we can talk about how we can get it into existence. So yeah.
Well, Rick asked us what are we doing this month and seasonal and stuff. I would defer that to Amber. She does all promotions. I would like to say it's really exciting to see the city acknowledging how shop local is important. I've been doing the haunted houses 44 years in this town. Usually when I talk to the city, I started Boulevardia. We started Boulevardia with Boulevard Beer. It became the best festival in the city. We've been doing this 8 years. We're drawing 500,000 people to Kansas City. And when I talk to the city, they say Rooftop Springs Retail. And that's all you really hear, whether it's EDC, it's fun to hear Rick talk about, it's fun to see you say, hey, this is important, shop local is important, retail is important, and that to me is very exciting to see the city say, hey, this is important, what can we do to do more of it and promote it, so thank you.
All right, I'm happy to pull this group together and as a roundtable, I mean, we're getting a lot of great ideas that we can share here. Jenny has said she'll share the links to the things that we've talked about, and I'm thinking we could meet quarterly, or we could meet every other month, just to come back together and share ideas. I put an invitation out to the Prospect Business Association, where business associations are rising throughout the city, and trying to support them and the local businesses that are there, so and you can get the word out. And I'm tweeting, use that hashtag ShopLocalKC in all your social media.
Yeah, and you can go on to westbottoms.com and it gives our schedule for Santa and the elf. We also do the Grinch, which is lots of fun, and he tours all the stores in the West Bottoms with his green sludge for the holidays. It's very vintage, of course. But we have put up over 10,000 square feet of lights on our buildings. We had a lighting, and Mr. Rick Usher flipped the switch. 14 different building entrances. We're not the plaza. Again, we're vintage. We're not trying to be exactly like then, but we also have all the stores that are open throughout the weekends in December. So it gives everyone more shopping time. But we also do the food trucks for First Festival Weekend in the West Bottoms. We operate all of the logistics for that festival every first Friday, which is amazing. And we have people who are now bringing in bus loads from Wichita and Des Moines. And my daughter just graduated from the University of Arkansas, and I went outside and there was this very large hog on the side of this trailer, and I introduced myself, and they're like, oh, we're opening a store in Fayetteville, and the West Bottoms has the best prices on vintage, which is what Monty was talking about, that we're actually pulling from the East Coast and the West Coast. And of course, Dallas, I've done a lot of research in Texas, has been known for that with a lot of the events that they have, but now the West Bottoms is the hub as well as the best prices in the United States.
I could add one negative thing. We have found out that people
and
like
you wondered why you were called the Grinch.
I know. But We found out, since we have both Santa and the Grinch, more people like the Grinch than Santa.
Right.
It's long term it's probably negative, but right now it's fun.
I think it's more the men
Yeah.
down there
Yeah.
with their wives like to kind of play into that a little bit more.
Maybe.
And of course, we call it.
Well, I get more requests for the Grinch than Santa, and it's a little
Well,
depressing.
He's a little different, that's for sure. But we call it man-taking in the West Bottoms.
Well, if there aren't any more questions or comments, if you would,
Well, I was just
Like
gonna
to-
share some of the stuff
Yeah,
that we're
okay.
doing.
Oh,
Diane
great.
said bring stuff, so.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanna hear is like what other areas are doing, because that's how we learn. So, again, I'm Lee, I'm with Main Corps at Linwood in Maine, and our service area is Union Station to the plaza. And then we kind of see it east-west, it kind of moves, but Truce to Southwest Traffic Way, because we have the Main Street CID and the Broadway CID. So I'm new to Main Corps. Before that, I was with Blue Hills Community Services as community organizer, mostly residential. So working on Main Street in Midtown is new to me. And the Small Business Saturday was my first event, was the Shop Local idea. So this is what we did. And this is why I want to meet with SourceLink and everybody I can, just to hear new ideas. Is that enough? So we did a small business spotlight, a Main Corps small business spotlight. So we went to 10 businesses, interviewed the businesses, took pictures of them with the Shop Small Heart, and then we featured it on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And then the day on November 25th, Diane and I had a booth at 40th and Main, and we had all the swag that we get from American Express, and featured these sheets of local businesses in the Midtown area. And of course, we have our hashtag Love Midtown KC campaign. We have the big mural at 40th and Main on Instagram. People go and take the pictures with it, and then they put the hashtag, and so our Instagram feed is filled with pigs and dogs. And if you look at the new brochure, we use actually one of the Instagram photos where a dog trainer from Arizona came to town, and these are her 5 dogs. And so we asked permission to use the photo, but I love this because this is, people feel connected to Midtown, and this is kind of an example of that. So, yeah, so this is our booth, and then these are the shops that we feature. But we're just looking for more ideas. We were talking about doing mapping on our website and having a link to a database, but you guys already have that. So I think that widget is a fantastic idea. And then our other networking opportunities are, we do the Midtown Weekly, which is a online newsletter that we put out every Monday morning of all the events in Midtown. Yep. And are you on that list? And then we are Coffee Clatch every first Wednesday, so it was this morning at 8 o'clock. So we invite all local businesses and residents to come. And then we have our networking luncheon every third Thursday of the month. So, and then that could be anywhere from the mayor showing up to talk about the airport, or the new police chief just came, or or businesses talking. But I would love to talk to you guys just about setting up a forum for small businesses and learning about all the opportunities. I think that's a great idea. So if you have any questions about how this went, it went pretty well. We just see that as something that can grow and grow. And we can do year round.
So one thing that we do, we have KCSourcelink, which is local, but we also have SourceLink, which helps build entrepreneurial communities across the United States.
Yeah.
So I'd love to collect some of this information to talk
Right.
about how KCSourcelink, I mean,
Yes.
Kansas City, not KCSourcelink,
Right.
Kansas City is kind of shaping Shop Local. I think that would be some good kind of exposure for us as a community and to other communities who are interested in figuring out how to better support Main Street businesses.
Yeah.
It's huge. Anyway, so I just wanted to say that. So yes, I want to talk to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I did. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
But Bobby, did you want to say something about what you guys got going on this weekend?
I did. Were you not listening?
Yeah.
But what else I'll go on to say is, for those of you who've not had the opportunity to shop our international marketplace, which is Independence Avenue.
Yeah.
At Independence Avenue and Olive, we have the Somali Mall. And you can go in and find some of the coolest fashion jewelry, colognes and perfumes that we pay $80 and $90 for at Macy's. You can find great stuff there, $15-20. We also have a new market going in across the street from the old Apple Market. That is all international stores. Young lady that went through our egg. We have what's called the egg. It's the Economic Global Growth Incubator. And she and her husband came in, and we helped them with business licenses, fictitious names, insurance, how to just get a income and expense sheet going, because they're a long way from doing fast track classes. They're a long way from doing that, but they're making great leaps and bounds in their business. They felt like the one thing that they got out of the incubator class, the biggest thing above and beyond those things that I mentioned and the help in advertising and marketing, was confidence. We built their confidence, and that's what Rama said was the most important thing, and that then they also know that they can always come back when they need help. She left on a buying trip. She went to Dubai and buyed. She has a great store directly across the street where the Apple Market was. That's being redeveloped right now. It's going to be a great space. There's going to be a shop there similar to the Tropicana over on the Kansas City, Kansas side, coming to Independence Avenue. So we're really excited with the international marketplace. The restaurants, we don't have Taco Tuesday. We got tacos every day for a buck. A buck at El Torito's Tacos. It's cool. We're having a good time with it.
So one question for like this particular campaign for Milltown, where does your funding, how are is it through CID?
So that would be the challenge. So I came in and there was no funding for that. So it really was, we received materials from American Express for Small Business Saturday, and then we just kind of did that all on our own. So yeah. So we'll pursue that. I sat in on webinars and then went to International Downtown Association conference that was in Winnipeg this last year, and they had some sessions on this. And it was very interesting how other people handle it and spend $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on that type of campaign. And so we'll have to find some happy medium.
Right.
Yeah. Bobby, how do you fund that kind of stuff?
Well, we are funded with, the CID gets a 1% sales tax.
Right.
So that really helps with being able to fund some campaigns.
Right.
We really try to take those dollars and put them back into the businesses with some matches like our facade rebate.
Right. Yeah, we have
you
that
know,
too.
the Independence Avenue corridor, someone once said, it's ugly, I don't want to shop there. You know, ugly ain't illegal. A better the culture and the tradition of those international marketplaces. When you walk into their stores, it's a lot different than what you see on the outside. What you see on the inside is somebody really wanting to build the American dream, and that's what they're doing, one sale at a time.
Sort of along those lines, in the Crossroads district, our effort this year has really been focused on a graffiti program and actually removing graffiti, and we have a program that businesses can buy into with a small donation, and we're able to actually, we just started this recently, we're actually able to remove that graffiti at about 1/6 of the cost that you normally pay a vendor to do that, and we just feel that that's important in terms of the experience that people have there. Graffiti, the vandalism part of graffiti is very, very ugly. And at the same time, we're promoting muralists, the people who are doing these wonderful murals in the Crossroads district and elsewhere. And in fact, during the solar eclipse, we had a muralist festival here, but it was just a real organic thing. Sort of somebody came up with the idea and they put it together very quickly. and it was very successful, but we're gonna build on that. I think they're gonna start doing that, by about twice a year now, and that's gonna become more, there's gonna be a lot more awareness among the businesses and the retailers and the restaurants who can take advantage of that event. And then last weekend, we had a holiday shop hop that I don't know much about, but
Yeah, it
your
was the-
business was involved in that.
The one that was similar to the Wanderfest, where everybody ran around and got their punch card punched, and we had a big raffle. I think there were 6 different people that won, and each person got like $75 worth of value to the various places. It was a pretty good deal for them.
If I could elaborate, I mean, the graffiti is very, very negative. We've caught 21 people in the last 10 years. They're not, people think it's gang related. It's not. They're all adolescents. They're under 16. They're from rich parents from Eastern Jack or Johnson County, and they're down here. I've caught one adult in 10 years, and it was a professor from Lawrence.
And they're very, because they're juveniles, they're much more difficult to prosecute.
Oh, it's
and we're also putting up cameras now. They're not cameras way up here where you see them from the top and all you see is the hoodie. We're doing a camera right up.
I have to.
Hidden cameras, and so that's another big part of the program.
What you just mentioned, the court system is terrible because they lit them off. Unless I pay my attorney to follow every step of the court system, the graffiti people get off with a little.
And what we're finding and what the police have told us is that if we remove the graffiti in 24 hours after it's put up, then that's a huge deterrent because they won't. They might come back a couple of times, but they're not going to go to the trouble of putting their stuff up every time. So that seems to be actually working. I've noticed it in my neighborhood.
Our new program with the police, we're charging them with felonies because once you graffiti an old building, it's never the same. No matter how you remove it, whether it's with stripper or with sandblasting or whatever you use, sand or soda, the building is never the same. And to make, if you had to do a whole building to make it match, you're talking $50,000, $100,000. You're talking lots of money. And so we're starting to prosecute them as felonies.
So that's one of the aspects of what we call our clean and safe program. And the next big step for us is to get a CID. But Crossroads is not a CID. We had somebody working on it, I guess, for about 5 years, and they passed away. So it's we're trying to rejuvenate that whole program. And that's our next priority for next year. And of course, First Fridays is our signature event in the Crossroads, as everybody knows.
And that is 12 months a year.
Yeah,
It's not just when it's.
That's a good point. And people don't know that.
No, I honestly, until we owned a business in the Crossroads, I didn't know that either.
Really? And we've had good weather this year.
Oh, it's been great.
For December. So, we also have had in the past a promotion to make sure that people recognize that it's not just the First Fridays that happen in the Crossroads. It's businesses. Art galleries are open all the time, and your business is open all the time. And people need to know that they can come down there at any time and shop or eat or have fun.
Monty, I'd just like to make a statement about the graffiti on older buildings. I recently was able to catch a YouTube on a tagger here in the Kansas City area that loves to hit virgin buildings. I own a fire station here in the community, and they hit that fire station. It had never been tagged, ever. But that's his sole focus, is to find those old buildings that have never been tagged. We also have put up a lot of cameras.
Well, a lot of these guys are getting really brazen, and one of the things, I've hired a private detective, and he's going to work with the police, and they're going to trace them down in their homes, and we're going to press charges on these guys. And this maybe serve notice to them, because they like to promote their name, and everybody, the artists know them and know where they live and all that stuff, and that's fixing to come in.
And P.S.
It's thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it drives retail out of here.
Absolutely.
Because they write ugly things, they write scary things, and these Johnson County moms come down there. If you leave it alone, it scares business away. So it's if everybody knew it was adolescents from Eastern Jack, it probably wouldn't scare them. They think it's games. It's very,
One
very
of the
bad.
things though that the West Bottoms has, and I know some of you have as well, that we will be addressing and really working in the new year. The West Bottoms will have a photography board and there will be a check-in system. So when we are talking about these particular things, we do have tagging of graffiti, but we also have tagging of photographers. So they like a certain graffiti or a certain look for a picture, which the West Bottoms is a hub now for photographers on all levels, and they impede in business. So you'll say, oh, I'm gonna load or unload on this dock, and they are now refusing to move, or you can't even get in and out the door. And they are on the private property. They aren't. The fire escapes are being used constantly now with weddings. We've had to remove girls dangling off the sides of the building. She leapt from the fire escape onto the ledge, the seal, but then couldn't get off. And so there will be a check-in process and members, so that the people, the photographers who are there regularly will supply their insurance showing that they have coverage, and there will be approved businesses that allow the certain aspect. We put in amazing European doors on the front of the buildings, which are photographed thousands and thousands of times every month. And it's just a way to give back. We still need sewer grates work done. We still need trash cans. We still need new lighting. There are things that we need. And if we weren't working on all those things, the photographers wouldn't be there. So that's what we're going to be working on this next year, is to make it run more smoothly. We want them to be there, but there also has to be a good synergy and a way for all the businesses to survive, not just for them to come in and basically mooch off of. So we're gonna be working on that along with trash.
And when you're talking about graffiti, I remove all the graffiti, or cover all the graffiti on city property in the entire West Bottoms once a year. The city never does it. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be negative, but they don't. Like the 12th Street Bridge is in my area. I do it on a monthly basis. I have to cover it, or it would be ugly beyond belief.
And that was what I said there, because what they're coming back is, and they're using spray cans, is the graduation year or the wedding date, not just chalk. They're actually painting the stuff on the building.
Well, this room is scheduled for a meeting now, so.
One negative thing and they kick you out, yeah?
Right, but I appreciate everyone coming, and we'll definitely come back, send an invitation out, because we know, right, holiday season is big for Shop Local, but January, February is a dark time for local retailers, so we gotta figure out some ways to bring the spotlight on them after the first of the year as well, so.